Overlapping shapes. We are going to overlap geometric and organic shapes to create art. Get a piece of paper and something to draw with. Follow along with me. The first thing that you're going to need is a piece of paper and something to draw with. I'm going to use a marker so you can see it, but you should probably use a pencil. It doesn't matter which way you turn your paper. I'm going to have my paper this way, hamburger style, but you might decide to turn your paper this way, hot dog style. Whichever way you turn it is fine, and it's also okay if your paper has lines on it. First, I'm going to draw a geometric shape, and I'm going to draw a square. So somewhere on your paper, choose where you want to put your square. I'm going to put my square right here. A square has 4 equal sides. That means you make 4 lines that are the same size. So if I put a line that's that size, then my next line is going to be about the same size. So my next line, I'm going to make it about the same size. If I make it a little longer, I can always make this one a little longer too. And then I'm going to make another line here, and then another line that connects those, just like that. And I just made a square. Mine isn't perfect, and yours probably won't be either, but just get it as good as you can get it. The next shape I'm going to make is a circle, and I want the circle and the square to overlap each other. And when they overlap, they partly cover each other. It doesn't cover all the way, just partly. So I'm going to put my circle overlapping my square right here. And to make a circle, I just make a curved line that keeps curving until it connects back to itself. So I'm going to start right here and make my circle all the way until it connects to itself. Put a circle on your paper that overlaps your square. Now I want to make an organic shape. So far we've made 2 geometric shapes. They have straight edges and equal sides. Now I'm going to make one that doesn't have straight edges or equal sides, and I'm just going to make a blob. So any way you make yours will be correct, because a blob can look different every single time. To make a blob, I am just going to act kind of like I'm making a circle, but I'm going to make my line wavy. And I'm going to have my blob overlap my circle. So I'm going to start right here, and I'm just going to kind of be making wavy lines until I get all the way back to where I started. However you make yours will be fine, because a blob looks different every time. Now I'm going to make a triangle. That is a geometric shape, and I think I want my triangle to overlap my blob. So I'm going to put the top of the triangle in the blob. To make a triangle, I'm going to make 3 straight lines that connect to each other. So first I'm going to make a straight line like this, and then I'm going to turn my paper, and the next straight line is going to go this way. So I've made like an upside down V, and then the last straight line is going to connect these 2 together. So now I'm going to make a straight line that connects those 2 together. And now I've made a triangle that overlaps my blob. I'm going to make a rectangle. A rectangle is kind of like a square, except it has 2 sides that are longer and 2 sides that are shorter. And so that's why it's a rectangle and not a square. And I believe I'm going to have mine overlap my circle. So I think I'm going to make mine a little bit sideways instead of making it straight. I'm going to make a long straight line that goes into my circle. And then I'm going to make a short straight line. And then I'm going to make a line that's the same as this first one. So another long straight line, and then another short straight line to connect those 2 together. And now I have a rectangle that's overlapping my circle. Make sure that all your shapes aren't overlapping each other. We just want each shape to overlap another shape in one spot. Right now the circle has been overlapped 3 times, but each shape is only overlapping the circle, and they're not overlapping each other. I'm going to make another organic shape. Remember, that's a natural shape, so it doesn't have straight edges and equal sides. It's free forming like this blob. It could be the shape of a tree. It could be something like a heart. It could be the outline of an animal. Anything from nature is going to be organic. I'm going to make kind of a wavy line, and I'm going to have it overlap my rectangle. So I'm going to make a wavy line, kind of like we did last time when we made lines, and I'm going to have it stop right there. And then I'm going to make another wavy line underneath it, like this. And then I'm going to connect those on the ends, because to make a shape, all your lines have to be connected. It has to be closed up to make a shape. So I just made an organic shape that kind of looks like a thick line, and it overlaps my rectangle. There are so many more shapes. We only put a few on our paper. But look at your paper and see if you have some open area. I have a bit of open area where I could put another shape or two. I don't want to put too many shapes, but I'm going to think of another shape or two that I could put on here that I can overlap with one of my other shapes. And I want you to do the same thing on your paper. I made a rectangle, another rectangle. This one's more skinny and long, and I overlapped it with my triangle. And I made an oval that I overlapped with my square. So now that you have your paper full of your shapes, now what we're going to do is color. You can color with whatever materials you have, but what you want to remember is where your shapes overlap, that should be a different color than the shape. So I might color my rectangle blue, and I might color right here green, and I might color right here yellow. You want to make sure that you can see the difference where the shapes overlap. I'm actually going to put a little pattern where each of my shapes have overlapped so that I don't forget and accidentally color them all the way in. I'm just going to put some stripes inside each of those areas. You do yours how you want. You can put stripes in yours, or you can color it a different color. All right, so I have put stripes inside each area where my shapes overlap. Now I'm going to get something to color with, and I'm going to color each one of my shapes a different color. You can do the same thing with your paper. I'm going to use markers so you can see it really well, but you use whatever you have at home. If you don't have anything to color with, then you can always use your pencil to fill in your shapes, make some of them darker and some of them lighter, or you could also put some designs inside of them. Now that I've colored in my shapes, I think I'm going to go back and color in my stripes. I could just leave that plain, but I think it would look nice if I colored it in. You might also want to color your background. That's up to you. I think I'm going to leave mine white. I colored in my little designs, but I just left them black and white. I thought that looked nice. If you did this along with me on Zoom, you do not have to send a picture. But if you did this by watching the video by yourself and you didn't come to the Zoom meeting, then I need you to take a nice picture and send it to me on Class Dojo. Excellent job, everybody.